Introduction. Whether you are reading any book or your IELTS essay or any literature, any research paperwork or anything, the introduction comes first. Introduction is very important. By reading the introduction, so many readers decide that they are going to read ahead or not, because introduction tells many things. And the same importance introduction have in the IELTS examination also. For the IELTS writing task 2, introduction is very important. Introductions comes first. And yes, of course, in the IELTS examination, examiner is gonna read your introduction and then gonna read your full essay, because he is gonna give you a marks. Whether your introduction is good or bad, it doesn't matter at that time. But you can think that examiner is gonna read your introduction first, and if you can make a first impression by making a very good introduction, then it is really beneficial for you, right? So introduction is very important task for IELTS writing task 2, and if you can give your best to write the introduction task, then you can make a good impression to the examiner, and that is very important, right? Because if you can make the first impression by your introduction only, then it is very good for you, right? Then it might be then examiner might be very interesting for your body paragraph 1 and 2 as well as the conclusion task, right? And to make a good impression in the introduction task, you should know a proper structure and a proper way to write the introduction. And today in this video, I am going to talk about how to write the introduction in detail. So without any further ado, let's get started this video. But before getting started, friends, if you are new here and haven't subscribed to the IELTS Guide channel, then please click the red button below and hit the bell icon so that you will never gonna miss any update. To write the introduction in case of a IELTS writing task 2 essay. So actually there is a proper structure to follow for IELTS writing task 2 introduction. And in the structure, there are mainly two statements. The first statement is a hook statement and the second is a thesis statement. Now, what is hook? An essay hook is first 1 or 2 sentences that serves as an introduction to your essay. And by reading these first couple of sentences, readers are going to decide that they are going to continue reading or they are not going to read your essay, right? So the first couple of sentences are very important, and that serves as an introduction to your essay, and it is known as a hook statement. There are different types of hook statement. I am going to explain it in the IELTS in the example, but we are going to use only few hook type in the IELTS actually. And actually in the IELTS we always paraphrase the question most of the time. So I'm going to give you some examples. So let's go to the computer screen and let's see the example. And after talking about this example, we are going to talk about what is the thesis statement.
So we are going to talk about only two kinds of hooks over here in case of IELTS examination and writing task 2. Of course, there are a lot of kind of a hook for different particular areas, but I'm going to talk about these two hook in the IELTS examination. I have uploaded a lot of videos regarding IELTS writing task 2, and in lots of video I just use a question hook. Means in that case we just paraphrase the question for the first sentence of the introduction task. But in some of my videos the question is something different, that I don't have so many ideas to paraphrase the question, or I don't have enough synonym. In that case I have used quotation hook. Means in that case I just explain something different related to the main topic, and then I try to make an introduction. So let's talk about these two things in depth today in this video. So let's talk about the question hook first. A question hook is when you ask the reader something that they can visualize and try to think of in their own minds. Means it is the IELTS writing task 2 is our question. Whatever topic we have is our question. We are going to simply paraphrase that question. So that is, I think, called as a question hook. So that by reading that, a reader is going to visualize and try to think of in their own minds. Means in this case we have a lot of kind of questions, such as a some group of people believe that and other group of people believe this. So it is something like a debate. So whenever the reader read the introduction, he or she is going to visualize in their mind that yes, there is a group of people who think this is the truth, and the other group of people is think that this is truth or other thing is truth, right? So this is how I think that question hook works in the IELTS writing task 2. Now let's talk about the quotation hook. A quotation hook is when a quote is used and explained that has relevance to the topic at hand. So over here, sometimes we have a really short questions. Maybe question is about the internet or some kind of a things. In that case, we don't have so many synonyms or we don't have enough words to paraphrase the question. So in that case, we can use a quotation hook. So we are going to explain the main idea of the relevance topic. That is our question. Okay, so let's see some examples of both of these kind of a questions hook so that you can understand it very well. So let's focus on the first example, that is of the question hook. So let's read the question together. Some people believe that unpaid community service be a compulsory part of high school programs. For example, working for a charity, improving the neighborhood, or teaching sports to younger children. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So let's see how we can write the introduction for this question. So we are going to follow a question hook. So we are going to simply paraphrase the question. Okay, so let's read the hook statement together. Few individuals think that unpaid association utility be a mandatory part of high educational institute curriculum. For example, functioning for a charity, developing the region, or coaching sports to little children. So here you can see that this is the first sentence we have is a paraphrasing of the question, because I have a lot of synonyms. I have a synonym for a community word, I have a synonym for a service word, and high school programs, and working for a charity, improving the neighborhood. I have synonyms for all the things. So it is very good to follow a question hook over here and simply paraphrase the question. Okay, and the second sentence is a thesis sentence. Okay, so we are going to talk about this later about the thesis sentence. Let's focus on the second example over here, and this example also we are going to follow a question hook. So let's read the question together. It is generally believed that the internet is an excellent means of communication, but some people suggest that it may not be the best place to find information. Discuss both this view and give your opinion. Okay, now let's use the question hook and we are going to paraphrase the question over here. So let's read the hook statement. It is usually thought that the internet is wonderful medium of convenience, but few individuals propose that it may not be the best platform to get knowledge. So this is the paraphrasing of the question, right? So now just try to understand, try to read this sentence. Now what you feel, you will feel same that the reader will feel. You are going to visualize something that yes, there is something in this that is going to tell me something. Means it is something like a question for you, and now you have to imagine, or now you have to think on some kind of a topic that it is true or not, right? Because there is a one group of people and there is another group of people. Okay, and then we are going to start by saying that in my opinion we are going to start the thesis statement. I will explain that later in this video, but now let's focus on the quotation hook. So let's see some first example of that case. So this is the first question. Let's read the question together. Some people think that killing animals for food is cruel and unnecessary. Others believe it is essential part of a diet. Give your opinion. So over here, see friends, I don't have so many synonyms. I don't know the synonyms for animals or food and cruel and unnecessary and diet. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to follow a quotation hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the main idea behind this question, and then I'm going to explain the main idea. So let's read the hook statement so that you can understand it very well. Food is essential for survival of any living species. So over here, see, the main idea of the question is food. So what I did is I just write a first line of by considering the food as a main topic. Now what you know about the food? What is the main thing regarding the food? Food is essential for survival of any living species. That is the main and the most important thing in this world regarding the food. So I just try to use that, right? And it is directly related with this question, right? So let's read the second sentence. Man is a social animal. And what is other thing in this question? Man, people, human. So I said that man is a social animal. So just see, food, the main topic I have covered in the first line. Then there is a man is a social animal. Now let's read the third line. All have different thinking, especially in case of food. It is different accordingly their religion, place, lifestyle, and many other things. So this is my complete hook statement. So see, I just try to relate the question idea with the basic and the most important thing, right? The food, man, and what is the connection between the food and the people. So all have different thinking, right? So I just try to support the question, and everything in this three sentences related to the question, as we have already seen in the quotation hook, that we have to talk on some particular topic that is relevance to our question, right? That is supporting our question, that is going to explain the reader regarding the some main topic, right? So now you read the question and now you read the hook statement. You are going to think at least same thing, right? So hook statement should be something that is really near to the question. When someone is reading the question and when someone is reading the hook statement, at both the time the person should have same thinking in their mind. Then we can say that you have a perfect hook statement. Okay, so that's all about the hook statement over here, friends. Okay, one more example regarding the quotation hook over here is, let's read the question together. Nowadays parents send their children abroad for further education. What are the advantages and disadvantages of sending children abroad for further education? Okay, so over here we can see that there is a main question. Nowadays parents send their children abroad for further education. That is the main sentence, right? There is not a question mark actually. That should be full stop over there. Education. What are the advantages and disadvantages of sending children abroad for the further education? Okay, now over here there is only one sentence. We have a main idea in one sentence, and if we are going to paraphrase this, then our hook statement is very short and our introduction is going to be very short, and it is not good. So what we are going to do over here is we are going to follow a quotation hook. So let's talk about the main thing, the main idea behind this. Why parents send their children abroad for further education, right? We can think on that, and then we can start our hook statement by saying that we live in a globalization era. The main idea behind this is globalization era, right? This is the main thing, and because of globalization only, nowadays the human is going from one place to another place abroad, and foreign people and whatever, right? Then the second sentence that I have is, people with internationally applicable skills are improving in leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds means we can say that they are growing so faster. They are growing 2 steps in day and 4 steps in night, something like that. They are growing so faster in leaps and bounds, right? So because of these only, the parents are sending their children abroad. Okay, understanding these, today's parents send their children abroad to make them equipped with better growth than what they may get at homeland, and this has its own pros and cons, right? So this is, we can consider the last sentence in the thesis sentence, but the first 2 sentences are, we can say that are related with our question, right? So this is how you can use a quotation hooks, right, when you don't have so many things to paraphrase from the question. Okay, friends.
Thesis statement. Thesis statement is actually the main idea of your writing task assignment, right? Your writing task essay. and actually it helps you to control the ideas in your essay. So it is known as a thesis statement. Actually, thesis statement is not only just a topic, right? It is actually your opinion, right? Your judgment or your experience about what you are going to write down, right? So thesis statement is actually your opinion, right? In case of a IELTS writing task 2 essay. So now we are going to see some examples of thesis statement in this video. So let's see the examples.
Let's talk about the thesis sentence now. So some people believe that unpaid community service, the same question that we have seen in the hook statement case. Let's see the answer. Means here we are going to talk about thesis only. So here there is some group of people saying this and other group of people saying this. Okay, so here let's read the thesis statement. Okay, the question is same from the hook statement example. So let's read the thesis statement over here. I am agree with the statement, but still there are some points that we have to be careful before giving such tasks to students. Okay, so over here the question is to what extent do you agree or disagree, right? They haven't said that you agree or disagree, they said that to what extent. So I said that yes, I am agree with the sentence, but there are still some points that I am going to consider, and that points maybe make me disagree with this, maybe up to certain extent. So I am not fully agree or fully disagree. Okay, so this is how you can make your thesis statement. Thesis statement is your opinion or your judgment or whatever experience you have regarding the main topic. You can use that to make your thesis statement. Okay, remember, thesis statement is your opinion. Okay, so now let's move to the next example. So this is also the second example in case of from the hook statement only. So now let's read the thesis statement over here. In my opinion, internet is a boon to our civilization. Without internet, we might not develop in this way. I am going to discuss on both this view in coming paragraphs. So over here they say that discuss both this view and give your opinion. So what I said that I just try to discuss on the main thing, that is the internet. So I said that in my opinion, internet is a boon to our civilization, right? Internet is a boon to our civilization, and without internet we might not develop in this way. And I am going to discuss on both this view in coming paragraphs, right? So if in this case we can say that internet is a boon to our civilizations, means I am agree with the people who believe that internet is a good way, right? Good way to communicate. Okay, so over here I am agree with the sentence. You don't have to write that I am agree with the statement or I am agree with this. You can use this kind of sentences also. Internet is a boon to our civilization. Without internet we might not develop in this way. So this is directly saying that yes, I am agree. Okay, and then I am going to discuss both this view in coming paragraphs. Okay, so you can make your thesis sentence in this way. Let's move to the next. So this is the third example from the hook statement case only. Now let's read the thesis statement over here. I said that in my opinion, if all people are vegetarian, then it will be huge scarcity in vegetation. So it is not possible for human race to survive only by depending on vegetation. So over here the question is regarding killing animal and non-vegetarian kind of a thing, and they just directly ask give your opinion. So we cannot say that I am partially agree or partially disagree, and we cannot be 50-50. They just said give your opinion. So I straight away I just said my opinion. In my opinion, if all people are vegetarian, then it will be huge scarcity in the vegetation. So I said that I am agree that some people should be non-vegetarian. Okay, let's move to the next. So this is the next example from the hook statement, the last example. Let's read the thesis statement over here. Understanding this, today's parents send their children abroad to make them equipped with better growth than what they may get at homeland. and this has its own pros and cons, because over here in the question they said that what are the advantages and disadvantages. So what I say that I just try to support the hook statement, and I said that understanding this, because of this kind of a thing, globalization and improving in leaps and bounds kind of a thing skills, today's parents send their children abroad to make them equipped with better growth than what they may get at homeland, right? Because they are going to get something better in abroad than the homeland, right? And this is the main thing. But it has its own pros and cons, means it has its own advantages and disadvantages, right? And that I'm going to talk in the body paragraph 1 and 2, right? So this sentence directly indicate that, right? So that's it for over here in case of a thesis statement example. Most important thing over here is word count for introduction task, right? You cannot write a really short introduction, or you cannot write a very big introduction, right? You have to be in a word frame, I think so. And I think that 50 to 55 words are perfect for introduction, and maximum 60, sometimes 65 is okay, but don't, I think maximum 60 is okay, don't go beyond that, and minimum 45 is okay, right? Sometimes 40 is okay, but it completely depends on the question, but try to stick with 50 to 55 words for the introduction task. Okay friends,
This video, friends, I hope you guys understand very well hooks, what is hook statement and what is thesis statement. And if you have any more ideas regarding this topic, then please do share in the comment section below. And if I have done any mistake in this video, then please correct me and mention it in the comment section below. And if you have more ideas regarding IELTS preparation, then please share with us in the comments so that we can read each other's comment and we can learn from it. And that's it for today in this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you found this video helpful, then please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the IELTS Guide channel. This is Rams, you are watching IELTS Guide. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.